This video is about balance and maintaining things and learning to be the best version of yourself in all aspects of your life. But if I'm being so honest, I don't think that balance exists. I think we just make it work. Oh, okay. So, hey, I'm a mum, obviously. I mean, I know he doesn't look like me. I get that quite a lot, actually. Actually, I do have a 3-year-old as well, but they also say that she doesn't look like me. And as well as being a mum, I'm also a business owner. I'm self-employed. I work for myself, and I'm also a stay-at-home mum to my gorgeous baby Arlo and my daughter Amara. Being a mum is hard. Like, no Sherlock, I know that. As well as being a mum, I'm also a sister. I'm also an auntie. I'm a business owner. I work with brands. I work with big companies who expect a lot from me. I am a friend. I am a partner. I'm in a relationship. I am so much more than just a mother. I am so multifaceted, and I love that I'm multifaceted. But do you know what being multifaceted means? Do you know how hard it is? Am I really that boring? Do you know how hard it is to be multifaceted? Do you know how hard it is to sustain that persona, that personality trait? It's so hard. And I don't know why, but I've been getting questions about how do you do it? How do you balance being a mum and working for yourself? How do you balance maintaining networking and relationships with brands and people, and as well as finding time to be a mum, as well as finding time for yourself, as well as finding time to get away with your friends, etc., etc. I don't know why I get those questions, but I get them. And honestly, to cut the video short, the quick answer is I do it because I have to. I've got people relying on me. I have a family to look after. And then for me, myself, I've always known I was going to be successful in one way or another. Whatever success means to you, success is different for different people. But to me, success and wealth is the happiness of my kids and my kids' well-being. So today, I'm coming to you with a video talking about how to be multifaceted, how to manage all the different things that you've got going on, because girl, you're busy, you're booked and you're busy, but guess what? You can't be booked and busy and not know how to manage your time and not know how to be there for yourself, as well as being there for other people. So I have to work, but I also have to look after him. So let's get this video moving. Okay, so we're gonna have to share the spotlight for a second, if that's all right with you. Before we get into the physical steps on how to be multifaceted and how to do all of these amazing things that you're doing, the first thing that we need to do is learn to manage our time. This is something I'm guilty of and currently struggling with. I'm not even gonna sit here and lie to you. I was literally talking to my partner about this 5 minutes ago. I do not know how to manage my time. I find it so incredibly hard to do a million things at once. But then the thing is, I shouldn't be doing a million things at once, because how can a human do so many different things in so many different areas of their life and still manage to have time for themselves and still manage to have time for their family and their friends and whatever their commitments are? You need to learn to manage your time. You need to break down the priorities that you have and delegate it accordingly. For example, like me, I'm a mum. How many times have I said that? Take a shot. My number one priority in this world is my kids, is my babies. I will stop working to provide for my kids. I will turn down a job opportunity for my kids because they're my kids, they're my babies. They are my number one priority. For you may not be a mother. You may have a business. You may have a puppy. You may have a dog. I don't know. You may have parents that you want to look after. You may have another commitment that's more important than X, Y, and Z. So the first thing you need to do is figure out what your priorities are and then delegate accordingly. Delegate the time to the things that is the most important, and then the least amount of time to the things that's not really that important. Are you liking that? You look really happy. I'm gonna give you a task that I started to do that made my life so much easier and made managing my time that much easier. Categorize your tasks into urgent, not urgent, important, and not important. Put whatever tasks it may be in all aspects of your life, that may be work, that may be personal life, that may be school, whatever, and categorize it into those 4 categories. Then once you do that, you can then delegate your time accordingly to whatever is the most important, whatever is the most urgent. Because I think one thing I learned about myself, even though I've known this for years, I'm just now admitting it on the internet, is that I love to do a million things at once. I like to be busy. I think a lot of us are like that because we like to be busy. We like to be doing things. I think, if I'm being so honest, if I'm sat in a dark room by myself with just me, myself, and my thoughts, I think I'd go insane. I want you to answer this question below. If you were put in a dark room by yourself with just your thoughts, no distractions, no phone, no one else to communicate with, will you go insane? Because I definitely will. And I think as a part of growth in a few weeks, I think let's all check back and let's answer the question again. I think in a few weeks, once I have done the work, once I've done the inner work, once I've done the tasks and the allocating and everything like that, I can then confidently say that I will not lose my mind. But until then, I will be so honest with you guys. Should we make a coffee? Let's make a nice coffee. We're making iced coffee. We're actually literally making iced coffee because I need it today. Voila. All whilst holding a baby, so you can do anything you put your mind to. Really? The next step to being the best multifaceted person you can be is obviously to set some goals, get realistic and think of what you actually want to achieve in the future, in the near future. What I've started to do and what I realized about New Year's resolutions, I don't do New Year's resolutions anymore simply for the fact that I think it's a scam and I just don't trust myself to make such big goals. So what I've started to do, what I actually done this year on January the 1st, 2024 was I started to set myself monthly goals or quarterly goals. So because of my job, everything's in quarters. So the first quarter, the second quarter, the third quarter, the fourth quarter of the year. I started to set myself some realistic, attainable goals for each quarter. And I found that way it makes getting those goals and reaching those goals and those targets more attainable and more realistic. Rather than saying my business will be a six-figure business by summer 2024, instead of thinking of my goals so far in the distance, so far in the future, I cut it down and make it shorter and more attainable and more realistic, because whilst we would love to have six-figure businesses by summer, it's just not the reality for most of us. So let's get real, get candid, get realistic with your goals. Think of what you have currently achieved and how you achieve those goals, and then think, what can I do next to get to X, Y, and Z? Where are you going? Where are you going? So I found that breaking my goals down to make it much more realistic for me, short-term and long-term wise, was so much easier and so much less stressful, so much less time consuming, because rather than thinking of one overarching massive goal, I thought of 4 smaller goals that I could achieve in half the amount of time it would have taken me to achieve a bigger goal. Because honestly, where are you going? Where are you trying to go? The second chapter is planning like a pro. I've got my washing machine on. I completely forgot about that. So chapter 2 is planning like a pro. This has to be the number one thing that has helped me going from I don't know what I'm doing on my day-to-day life to I have blocked out every hour I'm doing something. Digital planners will be your best friend, especially if you're like me. I used to have a physical planner, I still do, and they do come in handy for the times where I want to journal, where I want to jot down my thoughts, where I want to rant, and where I want to go off like Dear Diary. But for my day-to-day life, for work, I love my digital diary. Oh my goodness. You just can't make these things up. And then he's back chilling like nothing happened. An iPad and an Apple Pen. Now, how bougie of me, I know. For most of us, I know it's not realistic to get an iPad, to get an Apple Pen, just to have a digital diary. I know how ridiculous that sounds and that looks, but I love my iPad because I use it on a daily basis. I do also have my laptop, but my laptop is more for editing, emails, the big stuff, whereas my iPad is small, it's mini, I can take it out and about with me. I do have my phone, but my iPad is better because that's my designated space where my digital diary is, where I plan out my day, where I plan out my week, where I plan out my month down to the T. I have digital planners available for download. If you're interested, I will link them down below. It manages your time. It helps you write down and get physical, get pen to paper in a more 21st century way to write down your ideas, write down your goals, write down your time schedule, and to plan accordingly. Yeah. Oh my goodness. What's that noise? But I just want to, whilst we take a commercial break, I just want to remind you, if you are a mother, if you are a parent, if you are a caregiver, you don't need to do everything at once. The whole world does not need to fall on your shoulders. And I know what you're gonna say, but Jess, if I don't do it, then who will? If I don't get it done, then who will? If I don't do this, then everything else will fall apart. If I don't have this particular area of my life figured out, then who else is going to do it for me? I know that we're not all lucky to have the best support systems. I know I am extremely extremely privileged to be able to have my partner and my family, my partner's family and friends to show up when I need time out or for when I need to focus on work, etc., etc. And I know that I'm privileged and I know that not everyone has that. But babe, I'm here for you and I'm here to tell you that you can do it. We just need to find the right steps. We need to find out the right method. We need to find out the right ways to get you to doing it all, because I don't want you to say I can do it all and then burn out, because babe, trust me, I've been there before. I've been burnt out several times before, and being burnt out plus having kids is not a great combo, because then when you want to have the time for yourself and you can't, what's going to happen? Look at you. Why are you smiling now after you just spat up all over yourself? So like I said, I'm here for you. If you ever need someone to talk to, if you ever need a support system, this is what the channel's for. This is what I'm here for. Arlo says hi. I'm here for you, and I'm just here to tell you that you can indeed do it all. But let's just first take a steps back. Take a couple steps back. Let's figure out how we can do it all. Let's master those steps before we jump into the deep end. Okay, we're almost done. It's your nap time though. Did you know that? I think you forgot, babe, it's your nap time. Okay, so the next step is to remain open to change, remain flexible, because I think one thing I learned in terms of when you want to do it all, when you want to do so many different things, when your plans fail and when your plans go a completely different route to the way that you wanted it to go, your whole world shatters. You need to remain flexible. You need to, whilst it's very important to obviously schedule out things and obviously have your ideas and your plans written down, it's also important to remain flexible and remain open to the idea of change, because change is inevitable. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. You don't know what's going to happen next week. Something that you're planning may fail or may go a completely different way than you wanted it to go. He's going to sleep. Being open to change is so important. Change is inevitable. It's like, sorry I'm talking so much about mothers and parenting and everything, but I'm a mum, so I'm going to talk about being a mum. But it's like the same thing as having a birth plan, okay? A lot of us pregnant women, I'm not pregnant, by the way. A lot of women, when we're pregnant, when we're close to the stage of having our babies and giving birth, we write a birth plan. If you're not pregnant, if you've never been pregnant, if you don't know anything about babies or pregnancy, you write out your birth plan, which essentially goes through the things that you would like to happen in your birth. How would you like to deliver your baby? Do you want a birthing partner? Do you want to take pain relief? Do you want to go in the birthing pool? Do you want to go on all fours? Do you want your legs up in stirrups? For me, what I learned after having my daughter, after my first pregnancy, after my first birth, is that birth plans are just that. They're a plan. Doesn't mean that that's going to be the be all end all. It doesn't mean that's going to be how your baby's delivered into the world. It's just a plan. And unfortunately, birth plans, like I said, are just that. They're just plans. It doesn't mean that's how things are going to go. And 9 times out of 10, that's not how most women's babies are delivered. If everything we wanted to happen in this world, if everything we ever wanted happened for us, all the time, that would be so boring. If our plans went the way that we wanted them to go all the time, you wouldn't learn discipline. You wouldn't learn to handle things when they don't go your way. It sounds like a spoiled child. So be open to change, be open to preferences, be open to things not going to plan. Once you have that mindset that not everything's going to happen the way that you want it to happen, and not everything's going to happen in the way that you expect it to, but they will happen in the most crazy way, you just need to be open to the facts that it will happen, and then things will go smoothly. The next chapter is about salvaging, that's not the correct word. It's about sustaining and maintaining your networking and your relationships. Relationships are so incredibly important in our life. It doesn't have to be romantic. It can be platonic. Your friendships, your relationship with your mom, your relationship with your teacher, your relationships with your kids, relationship with your partner. I can't talk. Maintaining those relationships alongside doing all the things that you do as a mother, as a sister, as a wife, as a daughter, as a son, as an uncle, as a parent, is so important, because I think without relationships, we would be a shell of a person. Just a personal opinion. I know if I didn't have my kids, if I didn't have my partner, if I didn't have my sister, if I didn't have my mom, if I didn't have my dad, if I didn't have my aunties, if I didn't have my friends, even if I didn't have my community, if I didn't have you guys, I would be a shell of a person. Yes, I would still be me, but I would be missing something. I would be missing that extra piece in my heart that makes me go on about my day-to-day life. I would be missing that budge. I would be missing that piece of me that makes me do what I do, that makes what I do worth it. For example, my community. If I didn't have my community, my job would be useless. Like, my job would be useless. Creating content would be useless. If my content didn't help people, if I knew that there wasn't someone out there enjoying my content or making sure that my content helped someone, it'll be worthless. Taking time out of your busy day-to-day lives for relationships, regardless of what that relationship is so important. For example, my current struggle, and I'll be so honest with you, is navigating motherhood whilst also having the most successful career year I've ever had. Last year for me was such a successful year being self-employed, financially and emotionally, mentally, spiritually, everything, all the above. It was such a successful year for me professionally. But then I had my son, who I love. He is such a personality and I love him so much, and I love my daughter so much, and I love my little family. But for me, the current struggle is navigating that and learning to balance that. And I'm pretty sure I've spoken about this before on my channel. If you're a current subscriber, figuring out how to navigate this balance and how to navigate being the best mum I could ever be to my kids, whilst also showing up in my career and doing the things that I need to do in my career to not climb the ladder but remain relevant, which unfortunately is the phrase that I have to say for it to make sense. Like I said before, I'm incredibly privileged to be in this position. I'm incredibly privileged to be able to work for myself and to be able to choose my own timeline and say yes or no to work simply because my child's sick from nursery and I can stay home and I cannot do the work because that's on me. I'm here to tell you that you do not have to have that equal balance at all times, because I think this is still me navigating, so please don't take this as my thoughts all in all. This is just my current thoughts based off of me navigating through this currently. I don't think you can have a balance. Like I said, correct me if I'm wrong, please. I think just currently where I am at and having done so many different techniques, finding many different ways to manage this. Is there a balance? Can you ever truly have a 50-50 balance or 50% work, 50% play? I'm pretty sure that you will never have a 50-50% balance. It will always be 51-49. That is simply because as humans, I don't think we are made to balance so many different aspects of our life, and that's what this video is about. This video is about balance and maintaining things and learning to be the best version of yourself in all aspects of your life. But if I'm being so honest, I don't think that balance exists. I think we just make it work, but we can make that balance work. I think we make the balance work for us. So like I said, maintaining and navigating your relationships, making time for those relationships is so important, because you cannot be all work and no play. You can't be all play and no work. And I know you've heard the phrase, two things can exist at the same time. Two things can be true at once, which is true. But like I said, I feel like if we neglect our relationships with those who are truly important to us, and I'm not talking about relationships with people who don't bring you value, because I don't believe in having relationships with people that don't bring you value. If a relationship in my life doesn't bring me value, if it doesn't bring me happiness, if it doesn't bring me entertainment, or if it doesn't bring me anything, it's not worth my time, it's not worth my energy, because I'm sorry, I'm high value, I am worth too much, you are worth too much to be wasting your time on meaningless friendships and relationships that satisfy you, that don't satisfy you, that don't bring you any happiness or joy or inspiration. The fourth and final chapter is navigating your lifestyle and making a lifestyle work for you. And when I say a lifestyle, I mean your morning routine, your evening routine, your night routine. Making a lifestyle routine that is suitable for you. And I say this because there's so many things on social media at the moment where I know I feel influenced to rejig my whole routine that I've already spent months and months and months curating, to then do it to fit the aesthetic, or to then do it to fit the current new it thing to do. I know you know what I'm talking about. It's the same thing where every 2 seconds we have a new aesthetic on the rise. Mob wife aesthetic is currently the thing. I don't know when that's going to die down. There's so many different routines and so many different lifestyle aesthetics online. I think we all just get so overwhelmed, and I think, this is just me, but I think we're just afraid of individuality at this point. I think as a society, we are afraid of individuality. We are afraid of doing something, wearing something, saying something that is out of the ordinary that the majority won't agree with. So that's why we come up with these aesthetics. That's why we come up with these constant names for things and groups for things, because we can't exist as individuals, because it just doesn't work for our society. I know it's easier said than done to just say be yourself, being individual, do what you want to do. Easier said than done, I know, especially in this world that we live in, but make your routine work for you. Please don't do Jessica's routine because it's aesthetically pleasing and because you see she drives this car or has this boyfriend or has this lifestyle. It's just not worth it. It's not worth it, and it's not realistic. Anyway, that's the video. I really hope you enjoyed it. This is a very different style of video for me, so if you are new, hey, what's up? Consider subscribing. And I know a lot of you may think that I just use my child for content, but no, I'm not like a lot of mum content creators out there. I finally got him to sleep, and that was the goal. It's kind of ironic because this video is about being multifaceted, and for those types of people out there who do so many different things and who wear so many hats, like me, I quite literally had to do this video with my son, and this is the end result, and I'm proud of myself because I actually got the video done and he's sleeping. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I would love to join in this conversation. I would love to hear your thoughts on these topics. I love talking about topics like this on my channel, and I definitely want to do it more. I love you guys so much. Have a lovely day, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.